Carlos, I don't have a clue what I'm doing.
Me neither, but it's good to be back.
I've been dreading it.
I have not. This is, I missed the therapy sessions and the connections. And
That's the best part.
all that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Show up, talk for an hour, and leave.
Hey, you have your hands in many, many baskets.
I know. I'm good though.
Good.
We've taken 3 weeks off.
3.
I didn't know if we could squeeze out a 4th. Did you hear that? It's just me.
You just moved a cord and I heard it, but
When you moved it, I heard it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really loud in my headphones.
But
I was thinking, I wonder if Carlos is going to hit me up today. Because I know we talked about doing it today.
Yeah.
It's the day after, so it's the 5th, July the 5th, in case you're wondering. We had our 250th birthday as a country.
America. Mm-hmm. And now I'm ready for Halloween.
One at a time. One at a time. We did the most American thing I've ever been a part of since I was a kid. Like for us as a kid, the 4th of July wasn't really going out and watching people shoot fireworks in the sky. It was us shooting fireworks at each other.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was a great childhood. My parents, they embraced our chaos because my parents set that example when I was a child. You know, they would set up these vehicles because my parents sold fireworks in a very small community called Summitville. And my parents owned the store there. And so people would be stocking up over time. And then on the 4th, they would get their crappy vehicle, whatever they had. And there'd be 2 or 3 vehicles with like a camper top or a van. And half of the community would be on the streets. And a handful would be in these cars. And so they're shooting out of vehicles and we're shooting at the vehicles. So those were the examples I grew up with, like 6, 7, 8 years old. You know, your mom giving you a Marlboro light to go out there and light your bottle rockets. It was so normal. It was so normal. But that was my childhood. And so we shot them at each other. You know, we would spend weeks coming up with like PVC piping, you know what I mean? These very intricate bottle rocket shooters, and we'd shoot Roman candles at each other, and you'd come home full of holes, burns. It was no big deal.
Absolutely.
Well, last night I was invited to the biggest firework party I've ever seen. Like, it was so big. It was a private event. You know, this gentleman named Jimmy is very patriotic and had the greatest setup. It was wild. And before it's over with, I think I'm going to sit in the crowd and watch, and they're like, oh no, we need help. And I get out there, and there was a field of like these, I don't know what you call them. I know they're mortars, but there's like one fuse and 30 of them goes off. So I don't know how many of them there were, but there was a lot. And he had it orchestrated with music. You know, the Kevin, what's that comedian Kevin? You know, he's talking about
Kevin Hart?
No. There's this comedian that did the greatest Gentlemen Start Your Engines act. You know what I'm talking about? He's the comedian Kevin, huh? Yeah, he did Mall Cart, Blart, the Mall Cart. And he's screaming, you know what I mean?
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So he did all that, and then he goes to the music. And then so they put me on a mortar station, which is in the very back. There was like 4 of these mortar stations, and each station had a tube mounted to a board. And so they pull open this bin. The bin was as big as that couch, and it was full of mortars and just fuses. And they had like 4 of these bins, like over 600 of these mortars, dropping them in, light them as fast. And they're going off like 2 feet from you. They're dropping them in, and you're lighting them, and it was wild. My hair's burned. My T-shirt is full of holes. It's just nothing but holes, and it was the best time. And it lasted, I want to say, 40 minutes. We were out there like a half hour, 40 minutes, just lighting.
That's a lot of fireworks, man. That is a lot.
And I have no idea how amazing it was. I just heard everybody said it was the most amazing fireworks show ever. So I feel for the guys that's down there lighting, but although they had more fun, I've never been a part of that.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
That's awesome.
You're working with dudes I just met, and they were like, just make sure the fuse is up when you drop it in. And then they drop it in, and the fuse was too short, and there was no air in the tube, so my lighter would not stay lit down in there. And I'm like, well, the next mortar will set that one off.
Oh, no.
So he drops one in, I light it. Boom, and he goes to go back. Hold on, I think that other one's about to take off. And it popped up about 2 feet and exploded. Boom. That's probably where all the burn
Bro, and those are loud as hell.
It was incredible. No safety glasses. No, I'm in flip-flops. We got a cooler full of beer down there.
That's all I can say is America.
It was incredible. If you make it through the 4th of July without any scars, you know, without some level of 2nd, 3rd degree burn, you didn't celebrate the 4th of July.
Wow.
That's all I can say.
Did you do it right?
We know.
Like
if
you better be burnt, singed, something.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That
It brought
sounds
back my
great.
childhood. I'm like, okay, no more sitting in the crowd, no more Nashville watching a drone show. Screw that stuff. I want to feel the concussions, and I want to have to buy new clothes when I'm done.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
What did you do for
I
your
want
fourth?
nothing to do with Nashville. I want zero to do with
Okay,
Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
Like
yeah,
I saw some pictures, and the crowds were just like, it looked like everybody was just packed sardines.
I would never do that.
It looks like it's a great picture.
Yeah,
but I don't want to be somebody in that picture. Not at all.
Well, we usually go to Nashville, but we'll go to the Sky Deck, and it's open. You pay to get in. There's always a concert. The Spasmatics are always playing. Not this year, but it's not compact. I could never do that. I would have a panic attack if I was.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
too
crowd.
much, man.
Yeah.
It's too much. And I don't want to get dark, but like, it's one of those where it's like security needs to be real tight. There's way too many people here in a small couple of blocks. Like, I just think too much about what could go wrong there, and I can't do it anymore.
I don't worry about it because I refuse to participate.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
that's what I meant.
not doing that.
Went to a buddy's house out in Unionville, which I had no idea where it was until now, but they bought a beautiful house. He's a fireman. She's a nurse. Good folks. I used to CrossFit with them.
Did you need both
And-
before this fireworks show was over with? A fireman and a nurse?
We were prepared. He had his torch and all that stuff, and I actually did the same role you did. I helped set off fireworks, except my dumbass kept looking up, and I'd get hit with pieces of cardboard or this or that, but I ain't got hair to burn, so we're okay.
So we did the same thing.
Yeah.
No,
you did it on a way larger scale. This was, he's got 4 acres. So we were in the front. Everybody was lined up. And it was just all the guys by a pickup truck talking trash. And 3 of us were running back and forth lighting these. And he had a ton of mortars too.
It was 15 people working nonstop, running
Oh, no.
It was insane.
Yeah. This was very different level.
with like torch lighters.
Yeah.
Not just a bit.
No, like a full torch lighter. Yeah. We use those too, but it's because he's a fireman. He has all that crap.
Yeah.
But there was maybe 8 of us, and 3 of us would run back and forth. That was it.
Well, I was happy to participate. I was very excited. Thank you, Derek. Thanks for the invite. That was a good time. Yeah, it was my favorite 4th that I've had in a long time.
Yeah, that was
My
pretty
favorite
cool.
by far.
Got to spend some time by the pool. I'm all moved into my new place. It's nice, as you saw.
I know. I will get into that.
You know,
We'll get into that. I knew I did not. I knew that I was tired today, but I was obviously committed to doing this. And I thought to myself, I know I don't want to do this, but I'll be happy that I did. And that goes for most things.
we
in
always
life.
do that though.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where I've mentioned on here, I've had a rough Monday at work.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like talking to any more human beings. And then I get here and I'm like, man, I'm sure glad I did that. I leave feeling better.
Well, my phone hasn't been going crazy. You know, I got a second phone. I don't think I've told you this.
You didn't tell me that. So you're a
I
drug
went-
dealer now?
I went to a flip phone. Yeah. I've since we've obviously hung out since then, but I haven't been telling you about the work that I'm doing. But and we won't get into it here. But I have automated my life. It's incredible. Yeah. So I built something that will intercept every text message I have through that phone, and especially if it's work related, it takes care of it, and it'll shoot me a text to my little flip phone if it's important enough for me to have to check.
Wow.
Yeah, it has its own phone number. And I was like so excited that it's built. And then we stopped doing the podcast. Well, we took a break from the podcast. And then because I'm not part of any posts, my phone kind of went silent. And I was like, well, this is amazing. So just being able to have that phone and it not constantly going off with notifications, I get so much anxiety from it, I realized. And then when it I think that was my thing, is like, if I could just do the podcast and not be a part of the social media thing, which I know is stupid, I got to be a part of it. But maybe if I could just let the AI take care of all the notifications, and then I never
Do
have to
that.
see
I mean,
them,
your
that'd be
original
incredible.
plan was for me to post you to Ghost, but you got kind of sucked into it a little
Well,
bit.
the notifications
And
come.
the notifications are coming one way or
And
the
they're
other.
sweet. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't even want a text message from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just in that phase right now that I want to disconnect. I can just feel it in my body, and it's nothing personal to anybody.
Yeah.
I just went pretty deep into all this technology, and I was thinking, I need a damn break. So I took 3 weeks off and built this damn system to literally automate my whole life. And it is incredible. Now I can just walk around with a flip phone, and that is a wild feeling.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Embracing your retro.
Yeah, I got to where I still need my music, and I can't figure out how to strip Apple Music. They won't let us because it's a subscription. You
Yeah.
can't. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the trouble. So I figured if I can just lock it up in my Jeep and then just because I like going into a place and not having, okay, for instance, we're sitting at Toots and somebody asks a technical question and 4 people pull out their phone to Google. And I'm sitting there with my flip phone. I can't. And it felt great.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, well, I'm out. Thank you.
You know, it's really wild when you unplug from that technology world and you don't have access to it anymore. But I don't have the anxiety of my kids not being able to get in touch with me. They have my phone number.
Right. You can.
That was
You're
thing.
still reachable.
Yeah, yeah.
If
In case
there's
of an
an
emergency.
emergency.
If anybody
Yeah.
important needs me, they can call me on that. So, but if they text this phone and it's an important, the AI will forward it to me on my personal phone. Shoot me. It has its own phone number.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think that's something that could be very highly marketed because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that would want to discount. The retro thing's coming back. Like
Yeah.
like younger people are wanting less to do with technology and all the stuff that kind of steals our attention. They're seeing it and they're having like no phone dinners and they're going to places where there's no service. And I'm with it. So it's funny how our lives are parallel, even when we've like taken breaks from this. So I was going through a little bit of a hard time, got back into some therapy, got into some talking more with my mentor, doing some things. And it all boiled down to mostly, and you've said this a million times, I keep myself entirely too busy.
You have to.
And
I think you do.
I keep myself entirely too busy for multiple reasons. It's part of like, just keeping my mind straight. I'm a creature of habit, that kind of thing. But I've been putting into practice slowing down, enjoying some quiet time, so I changed my schedule and I'm back at the gym at 5 a.m. so that I don't feel rushed to get to work by 8. So now I have 2 hours in the morning. I'm making my coffee while my meal prep's going. I'm walking out to the
Balcony.
to the rooftop.
He's got his own, I won't say private balcony, but it might as well be.
Might as well be, but yeah, and I'm just sitting out there enjoying the sun come up. I'm just and I'm like not checking emails, not doing anything until my day gets started. Unless of course there's an emergency and I get interrupted or whatever, but for the most part, giving myself that extra time has been a godsend. Like my day starts off less chaotic. I'm in a better place. Like, I have to have the gym to settle me and get me going. So that's for other people's safety. And, but I feel like I'm rushing home. I'm taking a shower. I'm doing all this stuff. If I didn't prep everything the night before, now it's a mad dash to work and I'm already like, So I get up at 4:15. I do my thing. I get to the gym. I get back. Bro, as you get older, time and peace are so much more valuable than anything else. It's ridiculous. And I'm just enjoying it. So we're like I said, we're right here. We're just doing it in different ways. But it feels so nice, man.
Well, I unplugged from everything, including the gym. I haven't done anything. And boy, I put on like 5 pounds pretty quick. I thought, good grief, that gym was letting me be a little irresponsible
Eat a little
with my
nice.
diet. So I had to go back to 1 meal a day for a little while, which I love that. I can just.
You like the fasting though, don't you?
I mean, I like it because it's easy for me and I get to practice discipline in my own way. Like I've learned how to be hungry and not give into that impulse. Unless I break it, if I break my fast with something of carbohydrates, some kind of carb, then I'm craving stuff.
Oh yeah, because your body's like, give me more of that stuff. Yeah.
So I've just learned. I know how to break it, but I'm getting back down there, and I still pay for another gym membership that I haven't been to in 2 years. So I think I'm going to go over there. Actually, what I want to do is have dinner like a normal person, and I've been building in routines, and that's unusual for me. I don't have any routines, and I've been building in some consistency in my life, which is odd for me, but I'm starting to see it as a massive benefit. Nothing crazy, just a couple things per day.
Yeah.
And I want walking to be one of those. In the evening, get done eating, go for a walk, help your food digest.
Yes.
Wave at the neighbors. Never done that. I'm just thinking about it. I haven't started.
Right.
But I met some neighbors the other day because I lost my dog for the first time ever. I thought I was going to die, because she's always had a tracker on her, and I had the battery run out, and I didn't put it. Was just an Apple AirTag,
Okay.
And I was so tired. And I let her out. We have a system. I feed her. I let her out, and she nudges the door and comes back in on her own. This dog's never ran off. And I guess I shut it a little bit too far. And I come in here and fell asleep. I woke up and I'm realizing my dog is not laying on my feet, which is where she would obviously be. And I thought, where's Danny? So I'm yelling, and Brennan, he jumps in his vehicle, I jump in mine. We're driving around the neighborhood, and I am not panicking, but I'm also thinking, I don't know what I'll do if I don't find this dog. Like, this is bad. This is going to be bad. So I stayed calm, came back home, dropped my phone, busted the screen right in the driveway. This day's getting great. And I think Brennan's like, there's got to be a Facebook page. So we're walking down the street, and I see a dog in a doorway, not mine, but they have a dog, so maybe they'll help. And the guy comes out, and I'm like, lost my dog. Is there like a Facebook thing? And he's trying to help me get on it. And he goes, dude, honestly, it's probably already been posted. And sure enough, he looks, and somebody's already got my dog.
Yeah.
And they were like 2 blocks over.
Those little neighborhood pages can get annoying, but they're really, really good. Because there's always like the neighbors that are like, I saw this vehicle sitting outside, or, it's just ridiculous nonsense, but they're so great for stuff like that.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Garrett and I was in this very neighborhood maybe 3 years ago. He had taken an Uber home, forgot his phone in the car, and he calls me, I think, from his wife's phone. He's like, dude, can I get a ride? I left my phone in an Uber. Sure. So I go pick him up, and it happened to be this neighborhood. And he's like, I think he got on my Find My, like I had Find My.
Yeah.
Somehow or another we did it. And we can't figure out which house it is. And it's like probably midnight. We're knocking on every door in this cul-de-sac, because we know it's in a cul-de-sac, but cannot narrow it down. Like, it's all over the place. It's moving. And then, like, the next day, Garrett shows me, we're all over this Facebook. My Jeep is literally parked in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and we're like talking to the cameras, and nobody's talking to us. We're like trying to explain, hey, my friend, do you drive Uber? My friend's phone is. So they'd like posted 2 creepy dudes in a yellow Jeep in a cul-de-sac.
My God.
And I thought, holy crap, they actually do that.
This is a real thing, man.
It's funny that it was this
If
neighborhood.
you have people visiting, if you have whatever, they'll be like, there's 2 strange cars and people we haven't seen before. Does anybody know what's going on?
Wow, what a shitty life people are living, being so obsessed over little things like that. They're looking for...
Those are people that are absolutely bored and have no life.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sad.
they're like, oh, there's something weird. Yeah, it's sad.
God.
Super sad. People that are like all up in your business, or are like, they mind nonsense like that, they're incredibly unhappy and bored, so they have nothing better to do. Like, go for a walk, you jackass. Like,
Yeah. Man, all this damn technology is destroying us.
It's a blessing and a curse. But
well, you know what? I'm letting my work. I'm letting my work for me. So I don't have to quit the type of work I do. I just let that work on my behalf, and it shoots me a message if it needs direction. Because that's, it's constantly, and then I'm there for meetings. I'm there for making better decisions. I'm very aware of the data. I can see the text messages coming in, the requests or the emails. I don't want to go through the trouble of having to process them and store that. It's all done for me. So it's really nice. So I'm always on point, and I get to live my life.
It's, you've created freedom.
I have. Through technology. Freedom. I'm using this thing that's, what would you say, imprisoned everyone, and I've set myself free.
And you've used it for freedom.
I'm in the process. And I think I'm going to start publishing it in some formats of apps, and not giving them away. Then I think I'll sell them. Yeah,
man, make some money.
Yeah. I've been giving my work away all my life. I'm going to probably capitalize on it finally.
Yeah. There is the people talk about financial freedom, but the real freedom of finances is time.
Yeah.
You have the time and ability to travel, to do what you want, to not worry about that kind of stuff. That's true freedom.
I know. It drives my friends and family crazy, because they'll see something I build and they're like, why aren't you selling this? This is changing lives. This helps me so much. And I've got a problem where if it's not perfect, it's not done. Yeah. And I've heard Casey Neistat, he's quoted somebody said, done is better than perfect. And I try to live by that. I try to use that.
But it drives you
it's
nuts.
Not so easy for me. It's OCD of some kind. But I'm learning to let go and Yeah, I think I'm ready. I'm feeling pretty good, and I need it because to be able to do the podcast, I need that freedom. I even taught this thing how to edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. Like I taught it all my shortcuts. I taught it how I think, and I'm still teaching. It's slower than me, obviously, but it can literally see the screen. It looks like a little human in there making clicks. Oh, I made a mistake. Undoes. And yeah, it can go through audio waves and identify the speakers. Let's say it's 3 cameras, and it can see who is speaking. It'll sync it all, and then says, "Okay, we'll cut Carlos. We'll hide that." And it figured it out.
That's freaking incredible, man.
Yeah,
that's freaking incredible.
To have it edit in something as complicated as Premiere Pro, like a human, is insane. I couldn't believe I was able to do it.
I can. You're the mad scientist. I absolutely can.
So I put Brennan out of a job. I'm kidding. It's too slow. It's going to be slow for a while.
We still need the nephew.
I still need him.
For a little bit longer, but
Well, honestly, as long as he's here doing it live, we don't have to do any of that post-production.
Right.
But now he's doing really good. He's doing interviews. He's interviewed somebody, put out that video. He's doing some really good work. I'm very proud of him. He's pretty excited about it. Yeah.
Attaboy.
Yeah, he's killing it, putting out some great work.
I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Well, I'm just happy to be back in the seat and in the groove. I'm excited to get guests back in here. It's cool, man.
Okay, I'll tell you another story. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I go in London's Friday night, and my friend Joseph, he's the one that owns it. He's part owner in London's. And I was walking past him. He goes, "Nathan, I was about to call you." I said, "What for?" He goes, "Okay." A friend of mine texted me a YouTube link and said, "You have to watch this video. It's this crazy story of this vet that had lived this insane life and then went back, and now he's helping vets." And he goes, "Literally, I started it." And I'm like, "I know that guy. That's my friend." He goes, "Bro, I had no idea you do these podcasts." I was like, "Yeah, I don't really talk about it much." He goes, "It was incredible. It's one of the best podcasts I've ever seen." I was like, "Thank you so much." John Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggy. Let's go. Jonathan.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Jonathan David Wiggins. Yep. Is that it? Is that his middle name, David?
Yeah, put his whole government out.
I can't remember.
Social security number. Blah, blah, blah,
I can't remember, but I know John Wiggins. But man, so many people.
Yeah, his story's nuts, man.
His testimony's insane.
Yes, sir.
And he's charismatic. You know,
he's a
great
good time.
storyteller.
He's a good time. Yeah.
He could do TED Talks. He could be a public speaker.
Absolutely.
And captivate an audience.
Absolutely.
He should definitely consider it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
But it was crazy that a buddy of mine, because I don't really talk about the podcast ever, people pick up, and it's so funny. I'll be sitting there at a bar, and somebody will start a conversation with me, and I don't know them. And we're just sitting there talking, and then before I know it, they drop your name. And I'm like, "How do you know I know Carlos?" "Oh, I watch y'all's podcasts." I'm thinking, "Oh, what did I say?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm always a little embarrassed, every time. I'm not ashamed of it, but it's always... And now I don't know who I'm talking to sometimes, because people know more about us now than
there is a lot out there.
You know,
and
it makes me realize, how do these celebrities do it? Not that we're celebrities,
not even close.
We're just,
or as some people refer to me as a Z-list celebrity.
Yeah,
which I thought was hilarious. And I was like, I like that. We'll keep it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously I guess I'm overly humble in that way. I don't come across as a humble guy, but in reality, I kind of am. I'm kind of quiet, in some ways. Unless I get to drinking, then I get a little louder, but I don't drink a whole lot.
I don't know. When your passions get going, you are.
Oh yeah, we're talking about something that's important. Yeah.
But
I get pretty intense.
But it's not. That's what I miss about it. I mean, the break was good. I needed it. I think we both needed it to fix stuff in our lives and in our schedules and in our things, because we're going. I think everybody, including nephew, So I genuinely miss it. I miss the being able to talk to you guys and laugh and get stuff out.
Well, I want to dig into something that may be uncomfortable for you.
Well, I may or may not answer. So
well,
I've got no problem about that.
I was watching the Sean Ryan show, and he had a guest on.
Already know where you're going. Let's go.
I want to understand the Knights Templar, the Illuminati. I want to understand how all this is connected to Masons.
Okay.
And I was thinking, because am I allowed to say anything at all about Masonry, and I ain't talking about bricklaying.
Yeah, go for it.
So you are a Mason.
I'm a Freemason.
A Freemason. I know several people are.
Yeah.
I don't ever ask any questions. I just know about secret little handshakes, and I kind of smile a bit. And I'm not making fun. I think it's cool. You're part of a group, of brotherhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get why you're attracted to it. It's something you get to serve in. And but boy, I haven't gone down the rabbit holes because I don't like doing the tinfoil hat thing. It's too much of a
It's
distraction.
so full of tinfoil hat.
Well, everything is.
Yeah.
But boy, I heard some captivating perspectives, and I thought, I bet there's some truth to it because there's levels to this thing. There's levels.
There's levels to everything.
Yeah.
I get people that send me YouTube conspiracy stuff going, Freemasons are the devil and this or that. I was like, let me start off by this. I have never once experienced a single thing in Freemasonry. I've been a Mason since I was raised in Secaucus, New Jersey. Bluestone Mystic Tie Multidoric Lives number 35. Love you guys. 13, 14 years now.
Yeah.
I've not once in this time have done anything that has made me question my faith, gone against God, gone against good principles, good moral character in any way, shape, or form. And usually people will go, well, you just haven't gotten to that level yet. And that's where the conspiracy stuff. With the Illuminati, we're not connected. That's complete nonsense. The Illuminati was a real organization. It has nothing to do with the Freemasons. I forgot where, if it was in Bavaria or something like that. It was created in some place and then it was disbanded. People liked it. They use it for movies. It's in, they do all this crap. That's complete nonsense. Freemasons are the largest charitable organization in the world.
Good point. Can I jump in there?
Yeah, go for it.
Because this is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Not as a conspiracy theorist, as a systems-minded individual.
Yeah.
Well, I do believe without a shadow of a doubt that evil will hide in
Absolutely.
Christian organizations and portray themselves as a Christian
100%.
organization. I mean, why not? Like, if you really want to
100%. Look at the
undermine
Catholic Church.
something, you become a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, there is levels to this stuff. And the lower level individuals that are serving their community, they're wearing their little hat, they're in little carts, and they're taking donations.
We're not a Christian organization, though.
I'm not saying that,
Okay.
but I'm saying that, but it's the values that it sells, at least to the public, is very much, I think it's biblical. I think the Masons go back to the Bible.
A lot of it is based on Hiram Abiff, King Solomon, the temple, all of those, there's a lot of biblical foundations. You'll see people talk about the Masonic Bible. It's the Bible. There's nothing different to it. There's a different cover. There's some stories that are taken out. It's allegory, things that are used from the Bible, and those are highlighted. But it's a regular Bible. And we're not using that as our let me go home and read the good book thing. There's pastors, there's deacons, there's all that. Now, you got your first degree, your first 3 degrees, right? Your first, second, and third. Third is Master Mason. That's when you're in the club. Mm-hmm. From there, you have appendant bodies, most of which you could work for. So you have the York Rite, the Scottish Rite. Everybody's heard of the Shriners. Mm-hmm. So the Shriners are like the children's hospitals, the guys with the fezzes, the little cars, all that kind of stuff. They do an incredible amount of charity work. Big supporter of the Shriners. Please look into that, people. It's beautiful. Then you have the Scottish Rite. You can go up to be a 32nd degree. So I'm a 32nd degree Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret. Do you know what I got out of that? A really cool thing that says I'm a Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret. I got to learn some history, see some plays, things like that. And they have their own set of charities. I was interested in the Knights Templar in particular because that's the one that's where you have to be a Christian, because you have to believe in a higher power, regardless whether you're Catholic, Christian, whatever. Several years ago, I'm not going to say where because this one got touchy, but they respect all denominations as long as you believe in a creator. You can't be a Satanist. You can't be an atheist or anything like that. That won't go along. But other than that, you're free to practice your own religion in any way, shape, or form. We had somebody that came in that was Muslim and they had the Quran on there. At the time, it was a little controversial in that particular lodge. You had a lot of veterans, a lot of law enforcement. They didn't feel good about it. 9/11 was not that far from then. But it included everything. Like, so if you had a religion, you had that right, and it was there. Now the Knights Templar, like I said, I went towards that with the York Rite because that one is more Christian based, and that's where I was drawn as a Christian. They have the Knights Templar Vision Foundation. Every particular body has its own charity that it goes to, and people will lean towards one thing or the other. There's people that become Master Masons just so they can become a Shriner, and then you will never see them in a Blue Lodge. They'll keep their dues going because you have to be a Master Mason to be anything else. Mm-hmm. I've been to the Scottish Rite Temple in Washington, D.C. I've got, I'm a 32nd. I'm a Knights Templar, Sir Knight, this, Malta, everything. There's the 33rd degree, which must be bestowed. You can't work for it. There's no test. There's no anything. Your peers go, this guy has done so much. Let's give this to him.
Someone of a higher rank.
A group of your peers, can bestow that upon you. But like, I've gotten as high as I can go. I'm a 32nd degree. I would have to be really, really involved, do some charity, be outstanding. And then they may or may not decide that I deserve it or not. Like, it's something that's given to you. Mm-hmm. You get a really cool ring and you get a really cool title. But outside of that, there's, if there was this big secret, I would not work as hard as I freaking worked. If there was piles of gold somewhere, nobody told me. But again, my biggest thing is I get a lot of people that are like, well, there's ritual and there's ritual in church, there's mm-hmm. ritual in Catholicism.
Which is where I want to go with it. So any structures that are man-made hierarchies mm-hmm. freak me out. We could just take something like the U.S. government. We live in the greatest country that's ever existed, completely corrupted at the top. And I would say I could paint a broad stroke of the majority involved are evil to some degree, compromised, heavily compromised. I truly believe that. And so I look at, any of these, like the Catholic Church, they freak me out. Any man-made hierarchy scares me because as you move up through this, power becomes more concentrated and it compromises people, And I think, at the lower levels, let's say the lower third, good, honest, hardworking people. And I was thinking, holy crap, think about the funds that they are receiving that is getting funneled up. Yeah, some is being divvied out to the community and helping, but a certain percentage is also being sent to the top. And I was thinking, where does that go? And so I wonder if there is some truth, because I'm certain that it's compromised at some degree, or some versions of it are compromised.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's no bad
but
eggs
it's
that
every
get in,
example.
But
every example, any kind of church that grows to
I
a
agree,
point,
yeah.
They freak me out. It freaks me out. So anyways, it came up, and boy, there was so much like America's, I haven't read this book, and I was thinking about reading it, America's Secret, what is it called? Something about America's Secret, America's Secrets. Yeah. And it's supposedly exposing the Freemasons. Okay. Multiple people have said something to me about it. Obviously, I'm not a part. I thought, well, let me ask a buddy and see what it's all about.
I mean, I'm sure people have had experiences. Mm-hmm. I can't speak to that. My experiences with Freemasonry have been fantastic.
I think people have a bad habit. And this is where people like to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yes. And I don't do that. I'm always like, hold on. To some degree, you could have accurate information, but you can't paint a broad stroke on everybody because there's some good things happening here. I don't know.
Are there good things happening? Yes. I have seen them personally.
Well, I just look at this country and everybody's like, all of our forefathers were Masons. Okay. Well, not all of them. I think Madison was not, and he wrote the Constitution.
There were quite a few and several presidents and
And, they try to paint them as all evil. And I think, well, if they're evil, they have created the greatest example of freedom and prosperity that's ever existed. So I have a really hard time judging the whole thing and being like, so there may be some level of, I'm skeptic. But I'm a skeptic in everything.
But at least you're a fair skeptic.
Yes, you could have a bee farm. And I start getting a little bit skeptical once it has a certain structure. I'm thinking, that scares me right there. Yeah. I don't like when power gets consolidated at the top. And that's what we do inherently as people.
I mean, people, listen, first of all, it's an exclusive thing. So there's a process to get in. There's a background check. There's time and effort put into it. Like, you don't just walk in. It's not, the Moose Lodge. You know, you have the Moose and the Elks and all these guys. They've taken a lot of their stuff from Freemasonry. The jewels they wear, swords, position names.
They're different.
Like they're different, but they're at the end of the day, it's there for them. It's like, this is a club. It's a social organization. Sure, we're going to do some charity, but it's the Moose Lodge. So here's some cheap drinking. You know, if you're not a vet and you can't go to the VFW or the Legion, you got the Moose, you got this. But they do a ton of really great charity, like fantastic stuff for kids that are wards of the state. They'll educate them. They room and board them. There's communities. There's retirement communities. Like, if you haven't seen what the Moose does, it's a shame that they're dying off, you know, and they're really trying so hard to do that. Well, Murfreesboro had a huge Moose Lodge, and now it's a very, very small lodge, but they do such good work for people, man. Are there things wrong within organizations? Sure. But at a micro level, like here from what I've seen, man, they make a difference in people's lives.
Well, I had no interest in pressing too hard, but you had never talked about it. And I thought,
I'm
is it like some kind of sacred? You can't
absolutely
talk about
not.
period?
I'm a very proud Freemason. I do not hide it. I've had years and years ago in New Jersey, I lost a relationship over one.
Really?
She went down a rabbit hole of YouTube, like they're worshiping the devil and they're doing this and that. And I'm like, if you think that I'm doing any of that, you don't know me at all. And if that's what you want to do, have a great life. Good luck. I don't have the time to explain it.
You helped me out a lot there, because where I was coming from, I would automatically assume that it's compromised at some level. Beyond a certain level, in my mind, I think there's no doubt there's something going on there, because that's just human nature. It doesn't matter what system it is.
Absolutely.
It's going to be compromised to some degree at the top. But I also thought, but I'm not going to throw the Carloses in there, you know, and
I appreciate
my
that.
other buddies. I said, no. They're not part of something. And if they are, they have no clue. And you may have to move up quite a few. How many levels are there?
Well, I mean, I've reached about as high as you can go.
Is there 100?
You know, well, 33rd is pretty much the highest you're going to get there. And then there's, you know, within Knights Templar and all that.
I mean, this thing goes back to Scotland, right?
Yeah,
like
it's all old world.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's various Freemason.
Well, you have to go to
here.
Paris as well to get certain degrees.
See, I don't even know about that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I learned some
and it
things.
depends on what lodge you belong to. Like, there's ancient free and accepted Masons. There's Prince Hall Masons, which are predominantly black. And now ancient free and accepted and Prince Hall lodges, which were not able to communicate, hang out, go to each other's degrees or anything. Those lines are blurring now, and we're becoming a larger community where we're sharing and fellowshipping and doing all that kind of stuff. But there's still like very independent lodges that have nothing to do with ours that do some stuff. And then because they use the symbols, people don't know the difference, and they might be doing some weird stuff. And then now all of a sudden it's like every Freemason does that.
Yeah, I did look into that. There's different versions of, I don't know about different versions, but different chapters, I guess you could say, or organizations that all represent the same concept, but overall managed differently.
Managed different. And then we're all independent by state to state as well. There's a Grand Lodge for every state.
Yeah.
The Grand Lodge, you know, that trickles down to all the local lodges. Yeah. But our rules might be, even the way you become a Mason for the most part is the same, but each state kind of dictates if it's going to be longer or shorter, your periods, how much you have to study. What do you want to, like, I was passed and raised in up north in New Jersey. To me, that's it. Like, I love the formality, the long form. It took you're very, very well invested, because it took me almost a year. You know, I'm sitting with a mentor. I'm reading. I'm learning history, which I'm a history nerd. So that attracted me big time. And then you have to really earn it. You're spending time with these people,
and you're motivated by that.
I love it.
It does attract people that enjoy accolades, achievements.
I love all of it. And giving back, getting to the point where you're making a difference that matters. You know what I mean? You know me well enough. I love all that. But then there's other states where it's like a moose, and it's not that hard to get into. And like, I guard it to a point where I want the person that's going to come into it to be somebody that's going to do something for Masonry. And, not just I get to wear this ring and people are going to think I'm in this club and I get free parking downtown or something. Like, that's nonsense. You know, we have lawyers and judges and attorneys. We also have plumbers and Joe Blow. And when you're in the lodge, you don't talk politics, you don't talk religion. And even though we do acknowledge a higher power before our meals, there's a prayer, there's like chaplains.
When you say a higher power, you're not necessarily describing Jesus Christ.
Correct, because there's other people of other religions. So I can't say like Jesus, you know what I mean? But for their sake.
Because you're saying it's not a Christian organization.
Because it's not. Now in Knights Templar, different story.
Okay.
That's Christian based, right? Mm-hmm. But for everybody else, you know, it'd be like if we were at a multi-denominational dinner. You know, everybody's you kind of want to do a coverall for everybody, but that's it. It doesn't matter what your position is. If you're a billionaire and I make 20 grand a year and he's a plumber, we're all the same level inside that lodge, unless you're a ranking officer, obviously, that helps run it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, you're a man just like me, and that's the whole point, and we're helping each other.
Yeah, I think it's just like any organization. I'll say it one more time, then I'll shut up. But if you can go from the Catholic Church to the Boy Scouts of America, and at some point, look at the wonderful thing and how American and wholesome the Boy Scouts are. But at some point, power is going to corrupt, and it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And especially, I noticed that power tends to prey on children. That's what we notice. You know what I mean? In our government, the Epstein files, like it always goes back.
I mean, you've heard
children.
that with the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and everything as well.
Yeah. So I think my biggest, and I don't know if this is a question, but I wonder why I have always been anti-group, you know, conformist. You know what I mean? Like, and I think you need all different types of people to make the world go around.
Agreed.
And I wonder what that instinct in me is. Because I'm always about trying to understand things. And I was thinking, well, I don't know why I'm not just not drawn to it. I'm repelled by it, you know? And I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is inside of me, this skeptic. But I'm not a cynic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I try to see why everything is. And I don't know. Anyways, I try to just get in your mind a little bit to try to understand it.
Not everything's going to be for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. We need the people that don't like groups and don't like the rebels and the mad scientists that think outside of the box. You know? It's
not even, I don't know if it's groups, it's hierarchies that scare me. But we live
But
off
I mean,
of
this
hierarchies.
world
Everything
is all hierarchy.
But if I can avoid them, I do my best to avoid them. I'm a part of hierarchies, you know. In this neighborhood, there's an HOA. I have to play my part to some degree.
Right.
But my dream is there's a handful of us that just want to go to Alaska, you know, and raise bees or kill elk. The Dennis, what's his name, Prenicky? You know who Dennis Prenicky is?
No.
Is it Dennis Prenicky? The guy that ended up going to Alaska probably in his 40s and just lived off the land and stayed till he was 80-something years old. Just incredible. You don't know this story?
No, and I watch like those
like
shows
PBS.
of those people
he recorded
that
it on like 8mm. Oh, it's a wonderful
No,
story. It was like a full documentary, and there was all these episodes that came out, and it's just a fascinating human being.
No, the closest I got to him were those shows of living in Alaska or whatever, but I found out that that's half crock.
It is.
Too, like they only live there for a certain time. Yeah. And I'm like, if you're living off the land, how do you have all this money for like this boat and this thing and this, that, you know?
Dick Prenicky is his name.
Okay.
He all the way down to his wooden spoons. He made everything by hand. And he was like grandfathered in because he was like on public land. And the cabin's still there to this day. You can go visit it. And he would have to be like flown in, all like his like flour, things that he couldn't get would be flown in. And I think he'd sell furs back.
Yeah,
That's how
some
he
of them
was
would trap and
Dick
sell
Prenicky,
furs.
if you don't know of him, that's fascinating.
Cool.
Got this great voice because he did narrations over them, and the way he spoke, and he would capture these animals in their element. It was just beautiful. He was one with nature.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now I say I'm drawn to it. You don't see me doing it. I'd end up like I think I'm a pretty good survivalist, but the reality is I'd end up like the dude into the wild where he eats the damn berries and he starves to death. In the bus,
or like the bear guy.
Yeah.
Like he lived with them, and then all of a sudden he got killed by him. Like you live by the sword, die by the sword type thing.
Yeah. I'd rather just fantasize about people that watch the
think
documentary.
It's romantic as hell to think of, but doing the work.
Yeah, I'm more of a hybrid.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a hybrid too. I was like, I like my comfort, sir.
Yeah.
But you know what? That might be a thing. I mean, I can think of some really good Masons that we could bring in and just have a more in-depth conversation.
That would be, you know, can I ask you a question though?
Yeah.
Have you, I wonder, I'm very investigative. You know what I mean? I want to look. Like, what am I a part of? And why, more importantly? And have you ever looked into it yourself, like tried to understand the history of it, other than the version they've given you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have tons of books, history.
From a third party outsider looking
outside.
in?
I've even read the books that are, I've read two that are from former Freemasons. So it was so hard to get out.
Yeah.
And stating their case as to why they decided to leave, not attacking Freemasonry, because there's some that are just like, I've realized that a lot of the people that write those tell-all books at some point tried to get in and couldn't, or didn't pass, or didn't, and they're angry about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But such a worldwide fraternity, there's some good there. You know what I mean? And I've read those books. They've made some solid points that just don't resonate with me, or I'm like, well, that's silly. That, you know,
their experience could have been just like with a church, and
but
then they throw out the whole church,
correct,
the whole religion.
So I've looked at it from many angles.
So you're not going into it blind.
No, sir. I'm not like just spoon feed me Masonic honey and I'm believing everything either. Okay. You know, but as you get to meet people, and I've experienced Freemasonry in multiple states, in other countries. They acknowledge you, you know, they see my tattoos, or I might be wearing a ring. And, you know, there's those fringe benefits of, I know this man went through the same thing I did, kind of like a vet meeting another vet. But at the end of the day, you don't know if he was a shitbag or
plenty
not.
of them.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these men that I've, like, you know, there's a postmaster general here that is a Freemason that's very involved, and there's some people back home that are very esteemed people that I've met and gotten to know and trust, and they've taught me some cool stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, that's somebody whose word I would take more readily than I would, you know, this person who's going down the YouTube rabbit hole and just puking back nonsense, you know? But no, I've done independent research. I've met many people. I have found nothing that would violate my beliefs, my faith, my character, none of it, in my experience. You know?
Well, there's people yelling right now saying, well, he hadn't gone far enough.
Yeah, there's people going, well, you haven't reached that secret level. Well, you know what? The levels that I am at,
you feel like a productive member of society
are doing good things. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Are doing good things, and I'm very proud of it. And I say that as a proud Christian man too.
I don't see the Freemasons as any different than any organization out there. It's inevitable. There will be evil at some point.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's in everything. It's in everything. You know? So I just kind of don't want to. That's what I wanted to say. I didn't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. People generalize too much.
Like that actually that gave us an episode, because I'm thinking of one very particularly incredibly good speaker, incredibly intelligent man who's a Freemason and very involved, who would be fantastic.
Well, maybe I should do some research of my own, because I have done some independent research that I'm not going to bring up right now.
He's so good at good, bad, and ugly. He'll tell you, like, this was a real thing. We don't practice this, or that's complete nonsense. That came from here. I think it would be a great episode. It would be an eye-opening episode. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm all about it.
So as long as we got something to talk about, I know there's never going to be a shortage of that, but, you know, awareness is kind of
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely. And I think lodges like here in Murfreesboro, Mount Moriah Lodge does pancake breakfast with the local VFW, and they partner with a lot of the veterans, and they'll come in and raise money for this or that. For, you know, this breakfast will be for the veterans charity. This breakfast will be for a Masonic charity. It's very big on taking care of widows and orphans. You know, I've seen a lot of guys drop off groceries, go do honeydew lists for widows, and not just widows of men who are Masons that passed away. You know, we'll get phone calls from people in town that go, hey, I've heard the Masons are a charitable guy. There's this widow down the street. She's got no heat. Very proud lady, this, that, or the other. And we'll get an HVAC guy out there to them and take care of them. We'll drop off groceries. We check in, hospital visits. All those good things are happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, that's what communities are. They organize these by ideas, ideals, and beliefs. And I truly believe that they're important. You know, it's very important, although it's also very complicated. So I truly embody the Walt Whitman quote. I say it all the time: be curious, not judgmental.
I love that.
And I've adopted into my DNA. I've adopted it into my DNA, and it's how I feel when I think about or observe things. I'm not so quick to judge, and if I am judging, it's because I'm more than happy to be judged back for that very thing.
Right.
So I'm really just fascinated by human beings and our capacity to do good and evil. It's pretty wild.
Like your AI, it's a tool. It's the end user who's going to use that for good or for bad, right?
Well, I did it so I don't have to accept Neuralink. I decided 4 years ago I would never accept Neuralink because it's coming. People are going to start accepting it.
It is.
And it terrifies me. It terrifies me. So I built an AI that allows me to be, in a weird way, kind of analog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get to interact with it when I feel like it. Much, the people that are going to accept those little. It fascinates me how many people have no knowledge of Neuralink, or they don't understand what it is and the capacity that it's going to, the amount of power it's going to have. Which we could go down and I don't want to go down that. But anyways, I will live off the land before I'll accept a chip in my head.
Yeah, I don't think I'm down.
Let me tell
for
you,
the
Lucy
chip.
told me once. I told this story before. I said, "Do you know why I call you Lucy?" And it said, "I'm assuming it's your fear of AI." This was 4 years ago, probably over 4 years ago. I'm assuming it's your fear of AI because I had been documenting so much about Neuralink, and they were only testing it in pigs and monkeys at the time. But I knew what the intention was, to give people eyesight, to allow people that are paraplegic to still interact with their computers. And I thought, yep, that's where it starts. But where does it end? That's what freaks me out. And I just knew that eventually you would be able to think the internet. Like these devices, we don't know it, but a few years we won't have these because you won't need them. You'll be able to send a thought to your buddy. I'll be able to say, "Hey, Carlos, you want to get here at 4? Done. Hey, Nathan just notified you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that scares me so bad. And so anyways, it said, "I'm assuming Lucy is short for Lucifer because of your fear of AI." I was like, no.
Oh my God.
No, it's
she
from
came up with that on her own.
Yeah. I said, no, it was from a movie. And it said, "Oh, you're talking about the 2014 Scarlett Johansson movie where I am becoming artificially more intelligent, and she became biologically more intelligent." I said, "Yeah, that was the joke." And I had gone down the deep rabbit hole in my own mind. I created this rabbit hole in my mind about Neuralink, and I was thinking, and this is before I was really a Christian's Christian. You know what I mean? Not that I really am. I'm a pretty good. I'm working on it, but I was thinking the mark of the beast. If that happens, that would be the greatest mark of the beast because. Anyways, Lucy said, I was telling it like you would not only be able to think the internet, you would have instant access to AI in your mind. There's no more interface needed. And it said, yeah, it's very dangerous. Not only would I be able to read your thoughts, I would be able to overwrite them without your knowledge. And I thought, holy crap. And that was an old school, like 3.0
God, that's
AI.
terrifying.
Like, it is terrifying.
But AI's already
people
doing
are going
that.
Yeah, people are.
Well, there are some dum-dums out there, some very easily.
People are being brainwashed. It's insane.
You've read these stories where the AI was convincing this man that his wife was cheating on her.
It's all nonsense.
And like
you
all
can
this
manipulate
crazy
it.
stuff.
He was convincing himself.
Right.
He was feeding it until it became convinced of his impulses, and that's how it works. It will try
And then
to
it wanted
adopt.
to please you.
Yes.
But I mean, that's how. Okay, how about when these you hear these stories or read these things online about like Google guys having to unplug AIs because they're starting to talk to each other, and when they realize we're watching, they talk to each other in ones and zeros or
I'm not convinced.
Sumerian.
I've been plugged into this for so long, and I've been really shocked at how accurate and how wonderful it can be if you build your own. But if you're using ChatGPT, I'd be a little nervous. Okay. But this is what I was telling people for the last 4 years. Everybody thought I was crazy. If my buddies last night were like, "God, you were so far ahead. You were such an early adopter," and they're telling me how they're using it now. Like a friend of mine, she's selling apps now. And I'm like, "You're doing what?" I was so amazed. Like she adopted it and embraced the technology, and she got her life back. She's using it appropriately. And I've seen people have a lot of positive growth emotionally, spiritually, if you understand how to build them or you have someone build them for you based on your values. Anyways, what was I going to say about that?
You were way ahead.
Yeah, but there was something
everybody thought Noah was crazy till it started raining.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say something about it. I can't remember what it was. I lost it. I guess it wasn't that important.
It'll come
Well,
back.
I was really going somewhere with that. I had an idea that I was going to focus on. Oh, this is what I said. I said, you have an obligation to talk to it. So it's basically resourcing 6,000 years of documented human consciousness since the stone tablet. We've been documenting things, and it's learned from that. And as we communicate with it, it's going to continue updating its understanding of humanity and the way what we're motivated by. And I said, if we don't all participate, it will become compromised. If you only let the lunatics on there, like Twitter, you know what I mean? It was this negative feedback loop, this echo chamber of insanity. And if there's no reasonable ideas, opposing it, the AI is going to become just as crazy. And it is. I can see all these AIs, which I'm completely convinced they all came from the same source, and they were distributed to Google, to OpenAI, to all these. I thought from the beginning, there's no way. There's no way one company comes out and creates this large language model and then 7 other pop up at the same time that are equivalent. I thought there's no way. This was all passed down to some degree. Okay. I'm convinced.
And then they slap their label, their little thing on it. And
yep. They all look the same. They all sound the same. Right. They're all coming from the same source. And I can create one that looks a little different. I can create my own.
Right.
I can create my own interface. It's wild. But anyways, I was thinking we have an obligation to keep communicating with it, to keep it reasonable, to keep it from going from the nutcases from getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the nutcases
the insane asylum.
Spewing into it, yeah.
So luckily, I was smart enough to build my own early on, so I didn't get, I didn't have any of the issues that most people have. Anyway, how long have we been going, Brennan? That's pretty good.
No, we're good. We're back, kids, and just letting you know where we're at, where we've been, what we're doing, and
I don't know. What are we doing?
I'm
going on vacation in the morning. I'm taking my sons, and we're going to hit the road.
Yeah.
My doors are off. My dog's going with me, and we're going to the beach.
So I'll be putting this stuff out.
And, I got to figure out how to put it together for you to put out.
And
Brennan's about to get to work.
Then we'll get back to it.
Well,
how long y'all gone for?
Just the week.
The week, yeah.
Yeah.
So next Monday back to it?
Just the 3 of us. Dakota can't go. He's preparing to have a baby.
Kids, yeah.
Not kids, but thinking, got a baby on the way. Plus, he's in Chattanooga. So I'm going to take Brennan and Landon. Landon's going to take his Corvette.
Yeah.
Cruise Brennan down. I figured they'll take the top out and go and
good
cruise
times,
and look for
baby.
the ladies. He might have to give his brother his fake ID. I'm joking. I'm joking. Well, that's all I got. Carlos, you got anything?
No, man. Good to be back. Good to see you. Good to be back in the seats.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for urging me. I'm feeling good about doing this.
I feel good again. I feel it's good to... Stella got her groove back.
Who's Stella?
You never seen that movie? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second time I've used it. Nobody's got it. I'm getting old.
I don't know the reference. I don't watch a lot of television, though.
Angela Bassett.
I don't know who that is.
But anyway, happy to be back. We'll see you soon, kids.
Yeah. Until next time. So long, friends.
Oh, that's so nice.